The reason I'm not digging too far in on either side here is because I don't want to go out of my way to defend MrBeast, and especially not to defend Chris Tyson, because Chris Tyson is a disgusting person, is a weird person. MrBeast himself, there's a lot of questions about him that I think are worth talking about, but also with Dogpack, there have been mistakes in his coverage, and with his most recent coverage, it seems like, you know, there kind of was an allegation being pushed publicly that a lot of people took away, which was like, there was CP in a chat that MrBeast owned. We reported to the FBI, they're coming down on him, but like, that didn't really, you know, that didn't really pan out that way, did it?
We'll do it live!
MrBeast has released a new statement. We're gonna go over it and what it means maybe a little bit. As you guys all know, the MrBeast sort of downfall arc in a lot of people's eyes started a few months ago. And it's sort of been, I'd say, one of the biggest, if not the very biggest drama in YouTube history, just because of how big MrBeast is, right? Like, this is bigger than if PewDiePie somehow got canceled, because he's like 3 times as popular as PewDiePie was. He obviously is a lot more impersonal, right? His channel is a lot more sort of a business. He's less of a YouTuber, so it's been pretty insane. But he posted a follow-up to his original statement. So this statement was when the Chris went on, right? He said, over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online, and I'm disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I've been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with MrBeast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their findings. So here he said he's going to be hiring someone to investigate him. Basically what happens here with companies is, let's say a company gets some allegations about it, right? About misconduct, about, you know, stuff from the top down going wrong. Basically to try and see if there's any wrongdoing, or really to be able to make some kind of statement to the public to talk about whatever's going on. They'll hire a firm, usually a law firm, to investigate them and go through all their stuff. And then they'll be able to put out a statement saying, hey, I had this third party investigate me. This is what they said, right? So here's what he said. He did follow this up here to this tweet. He posted a follow-up tweet. Now, I will say, I think, you know, MrBeast probably made a somewhat calculated move here with, instead of making his own new tweet about this, he posted a reply to this tweet. And I don't know if I'm reading into it too much. I'm not, you know, ascribing anything insidious to him necessarily. But obviously, in the position MrBeast is in, he wants the controversy to go away. He doesn't want a ton of more attention on it from like a new tweet. So he basically followed up his original tweet with this reply, which will boost it a little bit less than it would get boosted if he posted his own, you know, individual tweet, right? Obviously, if you make a reply to a tweet, it'll get, you know, a smaller percentage of the likes and, you know, or attention that like an independent tweet would get. Bro's never beating the Antichrist allegations? Maybe not. Maybe not. But he said, a 3-month investigation into allegations regarding my company has concluded. The law firm and investigators reviewed millions of documents and messages and conducted 39 interviews. I was asked to refrain from making public statements to enable a detailed and unbiased investigation. Below are their conclusions. Now, I did, when I initially read this, I was like, millions of documents, messages, like, what does that even mean? Like, how do they review millions in months, right? Can anyone do that? But when he says documents / messages, what I basically chalk this up to is, like, a lot of these documents could just be like a 1-word screenshot of like a text or something. Like, you know, millions of documents and messages, like between, you know, a company of 300 people. It's possible that they did look through all of this, but I would guess that probably, you know, there's a lot of like less important stuff that they just looked at and they're like, all right, this isn't important, scrutinize, put this in the, you know, back files recycle bin. And then there was other stuff that they wanted to really look at. A specific law firm investigated them basically. So Quinn Emanuel, to be clear, if there's any doubt they could go through this many documents, which I assume they probably can, they are the largest law firm in the world, at least according to their website. The largest law firm in the world. They call themselves a global force in litigation. You can see here their very, you know, very professional website. $70 billion won for plaintiffs. 86% of trials and arbitrations won. 35 offices in 12 countries. So they're a huge firm, all right? They're a huge firm. Dark Viper AU, yay or nay? I'll look at that later. But pretty big law firm he's got here, which makes sense considering how big the company is and how much money he has to put towards something like that. But here's what they said. November 1st, 2024, via email, Board of Directors, MrBeast LLC. Response to internal investigation, key findings and conclusions. Dear Board of Directors, as you know, in July of 2024, MrBeast LLC, the company, engaged Quinn Emanuel, Urquhart, and Sullivan LLP to conduct an internal investigation into specific allegations made publicly, incidents reported internally, and issues raised by employees in interviews, including with respect to current and or former company personnel and the company's workplace environment and culture. At your direction, Quinn Emanuel immediately launched a comprehensive investigation, which is now concluded. The following sets forth certain key findings and conclusions from the investigation without waiving any applicable privileges, including, but not limited to, the attorney-client privilege and work product protection. As an initial matter, to protect the investigation's integrity, on July 31st, 2024, Quinn Emanuel requested that a former employee, Dawson French, cease making public allegations against the company, as those were the topic of an ongoing investigation. We also requested that current employees refrain from public comments to ensure the investigation yielded accurate information and the witnesses were not tainted. So essentially what they said here is, first of all, there's some stuff they're not going to reveal in here because of attorney-client privilege. So like stuff that, you're protected from when you're discussing it with an attorney that's like, potentially going to represent you. So there's that. And then also Dawson French's Dogpack 404, obviously. So this is the same law firm that sent him a cease and desist. The intent was to foster candid interviews and complete cooperation with the investigatory process. Quinn Emanuel conducted 39 interviews of current and former employees. Over 4.5 million documents collected from mobile phones, emails, telegrams, discords, WhatsApps, and Slack were processed. The collaboration and cooperation sought at the outset were achieved throughout this process. Quinn Emanuel thoroughly investigated all public allegations and any others that arose during the investigation. Interesting. So this is just kind of like boilerplate stuff. They haven't really said anything specific here in the first page. I assume this one will go more in depth, though. The investigation produced the following significant findings. Allegations of sexual misconduct, like grooming, etc., between company employees and minors are without basis. The allegations were soundly rejected, including by alleged victims. So what they're saying here is that in terms of like actual, stuff in between the company employees, and minors are without basis. So they're saying there's no legal, legally defined grooming or anything like that going on at MrBeast, which in terms of legality, I think is possible. I don't know that Chris Tyson, as gross as they are, technically broke the law. I don't think they did. I think they could have, based on, just obscenity stuff by sending basically like Shadman to minors, but I don't know that that's illegal, positively. I'm not totally sure. Obviously, it's disgusting and gross and, it should be called out, but I don't know that Chris Tyson necessarily broke a law there. Allegations of the company knowingly employing individuals with proclivities or histories towards illegal and questionable legal conduct are similarly without basis. Here, too, the allegations were uniformly rejected. So I assume what they're saying here is this is in regards to Chris Tyson and then also Delaware, the registered sex offender who was hired by MrBeast. Several isolated instances of workplace harassment and misconduct were identified during the investigation. The company was informed of such conduct and took swift and appropriate actions to address the incidents, including, where necessary, disciplining or letting go of implicated individuals. So I would assume that what's being discussed here would be maybe James Warren, but more likely LaCoya Hill. Remember that guy? He was the second guy from Dogpack's third video. I assume that's who they're referring to here. The allegations weren't about sending that stuff to employees. Well, yeah, but what they're saying here is between company employees and minors. They're not just saying it's between company employees. They're saying between company employees and minors. And they're saying it's without basis, according to this law firm, right? Several isolated instances of workplace harassment, blah, blah, blah. As you're well aware, the company has grown exceedingly quickly from a YouTube startup comprised of a group of talented young individuals to a much larger entity. It is not uncommon that policies and practices essential in a mature company would lag behind commercial success. This appears to have been the case here and has, in certain instances, allowed for inappropriate conduct. So they are sort of criticizing him here. They're saying, like, there was, kind of a growth period when MrBeast was going from, a typical YouTube guy to being somebody who owns like one of the largest companies. Well, not one of the largest companies in the US, but a relatively, decent sized company, 300 employees, right? So they're kind of calling him out here saying like, there wasn't a lot of care taken to maybe like human resources or PR or stuff like that in the interim here. When these allegations were developing, or when these allegations happened, they're basically writing it off as like, well, it was part of the growth stage of the company, right? It's clear the company is committed to remedying historical issues and creating a mature culture where problematic behaviors are not tolerated as it enters this new phase. The company has already implemented or is in the process of implementing changes to ensure a safe and professional corporate culture today and moving forward. These include sending a clear message regarding the tone at the top, hiring a new chief executive officer, chief people officer, and a general counsel, and soon to be hired a chief financial officer. So what they're saying here is that everybody who was, because I believe the CEO was James Warren and the COO was LaCoya Hill at one point. But they're basically saying here that they're getting new people in all of the top positions: new CEO, new CPO, a new general counsel, and a new CFO, right? Keep in mind, this is a third-party international law firm, not MrBeast himself investigating. That is true. Implementing mandatory corporate training for all employees, developing new policies codified in an employee handbook, establishing an anonymous reporting mechanism and hotline for employees. And the benefit to having an anonymous hotline is like, let's say you have a problem with, X person at the company, but X person is good friends with the guy at the top, right? So you obviously don't want to necessarily report it to the guy at the top, because what could happen is that guy could have a more favorable view of the person that's being accused and not want to deal with it, not want to take it seriously, not treat it how they should. And so the idea here behind an anonymous hotline is there aren't going to be any repercussions for reporting it to, whatever the HR department is, basically, right? There's not going to be any repercussions for whoever is personally reporting it, right? Thanks to the dono, Spoonsies. Appreciate it, bruh. Swiftly terminating individuals who violated company policy regardless of their position or level within the company. Identifying additional employees for targeted training and executive coaching to address professionalism and compliance with company policy. This officially concludes our investigation. We remain available if you need any follow-ups or have any further questions. Very truly yours, Alex Spiro. Now, there's been a lot of people responding to this, basically talking about it, right? Saying like, well, you just investigated yourself, right? Technically, that's not true. MrBeast hired a third-party law firm to investigate him, right? And see if there was any wrongdoing or prove obviously in his ideal world to prove that there wasn't any wrongdoing, right? I don't know the record of this law firm. I don't know if they're good people. I don't know if they typically report things factually or if they have a history of not and basically wanting to benefit their client instead. I will say I don't think I've seen any definitive proof that anything against the law technically happened regarding MrBeast's company. That I will say. So that's basically what I'm taking away from here, which seems mostly to be the case. But I will say, I mean, this response, while it may satiate legal authorities, and I don't think that MrBeast is at risk of like the police or the FBI or some, organization like that coming down on him. I would say that in terms of like the public eye, this still is going to read as a very PR kind of response. So you're saying Jake the Viking lied when he claimed Delaware sat down with Jimmy and his mom and told him everything before hiring him. So this is what Jake the Viking said. If you remember, Jake the Viking was the guy who was saying like, Jimmy's a piece of shit. He knew about Chris Tyson. And then it turned out that Jimmy's own brother-in-law was Delaware, who was the registered sex offender who was hired at this company. And here's what he said. He said, this is an old tweet. He said, here's the truth. Yes, Delaware is my brother-in-law. Yes, he's an RSO. When he was 21, a 16-year-old girl accused him and others of SA when she was 11. Delaware took a plea deal. That's why there was no jail time, but he still had to register. His nickname isn't Delaware because he can't go back to Delaware. He's from Delaware. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He's been back several times. He was hired before I was. It was actually the reason I got hired at MrBeast. But this is the really interesting part here because he said before being hired, Delaware sat down with Jimmy and Sue, Jimmy's mom, and explained to them everything. So yes, Jimmy knew. So Jake the Viking's making the case that MrBeast definitely knew about his brother-in-law, Delaware, who was a convicted sex offender. Did I say Delaware's Jimmy's brother-in-law? Sorry, I meant Jake's brother-in-law. My bad. Essentially what he's saying here is that Jimmy knew about Jake's brother-in-law, Delaware, being a registered sex offender, and so did Jimmy's mom, and they didn't care, or they kept him at the company regardless, right? But here in this, they're saying that allegations of the company knowingly employing individuals with proclivities or histories towards legal or questionable legal conduct are similarly without basis. So they're saying here, this allegation is bad, is dumb. So they're essentially saying Jake the Viking is lying, right? That's the thing here, basically. No mention of crypto pump and dumps in the letter. Well, in fairness, that did come out after the investigation had started, and also it's a less mainstream allegation, right? This is like sort of on the low key right now. So whether that kind of goes mainstream remains to be seen. And also on top of that, I mean, pump and dumps, I think are technically not illegal most of the time. Or if they are illegal, it's not typically pursued by law enforcement. I don't think I've seen someone go to jail for doing a pump and dump like ever. Like Logan Paul is not in jail, for example. A lot of other people CoffeeZeal has covered are not in jail. They haven't held legally accountable. What about the illegal lotteries? That's a great question. It doesn't seem like they even mentioned that in here. So I don't know if the implication is that it didn't even make it in here because it was completely unfounded and they were legal, or the implication is that they just didn't feel the need to talk about it in this letter. But I will say the problem with a statement like this is it's so vague. It doesn't really go into any detail. So like we're not, we can kind of speculate. You can tell I'm kind of speculating here like, well, this part's probably in reference to that. This part's probably in reference to that. But the problem is there's so many different criticisms of MrBeast and quote unquote allegations and exposés. So it's kind of hard to figure out what's going on here, especially with the other stuff that wasn't really talked about. Willie Max says, we can interpret what you're admitting and are denying when it comes to Dogpacks allegations, but in my opinion, you need to come out and make it clear. I would agree with that. I think that at this point, I don't know. It's hard for me to say what the best thing would be tactically speaking for MrBeast. Like, I don't know if it would help or hurt his company to respond to all the allegations specifically, because there is still more stuff coming out as the thing. Like for him, I assume that he would be waiting until all the allegations were out to respond. The allegations haven't stopped. There's still new stuff coming out from Rosanna Pansino, which we'll take a look at in a second. So I think that if he wants to actually dispel this shit, I think he needs to come out and go into detail about it. This guy says, I don't get it. How can they say without merit in regards to hiring people with a history of illegal actions? They hired a literal convicted file. Not even addressing that makes this entire statement useless. Well, I mean, I assume the response is allegations of the company knowingly. They use the word knowingly, and they say there's no merit. So what they're saying is the guy was a convicted registered sex offender, but there wasn't any knowledge necessarily that MrBeast knew. There wasn't any document about that. Jesse Ridgway, McJuggernuggets, said 4.5 million documents were processed and reviewed. I don't even know how that's humanly possible. I assume assume when they say millions of documents, a lot of that is like screenshots of messages, which I think, you know, with a law firm this big, you probably could review it all, but I don't really know. I think that overall, this is just, it's such a vague response, right? It's so vague. I don't think this is going to be taken very well. That's so bullshit. They covered the guy's face in his videos. Well, I guess the only explanation I could give for that is maybe he was like, I want to cover my face because I don't want to be recognized, but he didn't reveal to them like the real reason. I guess that's one explanation they could give. The thing is, you know, we need to have really dead to rights proof of MrBeast 1000% knowing that he was hiring a sex offender. I think that regardless of if he knew or not, I think there still is a criticism to be made about irresponsibility. But I will say, you know, in terms of like any kind of legal punishment, like there would have to be definitive dead to rights proof that he knew that he was hiring a file, right? That would be the kind of concern. He's getting brutally ratioed here. I'm curious what Dogpack had to say about this all. Here he said, a 3-month investigation is only 2 pages. Care to elaborate how you didn't know you hired an RSO? Care to elaborate on the several isolated instances of workplace harassment and misconduct? I think that ultimately, if MrBeast wants to dispel this stuff, he's gonna, if he even can at this point, which I don't know that he can, he's gonna need a really detailed response, and it's gonna need to be good. I think of the gift of memberships, bro. Smaggle says, in the video where Jimmy hired Delaware, his face was not covered. Where is the video where he hired him? Can I see that? Where can I find that? Where did he hire him? That was in a YouTube video? I didn't even know that. Why would he respond? He's doing great still. Well, tactically speaking, why would he respond? I think probably the biggest reason right now would be that if he doesn't, and he doesn't improve his PR, I think that his Amazon deal and shit like that could really go sour, you know? I mean, we saw that Business Insider article where they were talking about how basically initially a lot of companies seemed very eager to sponsor the Amazon show he was doing, but given all the allegations that have come out, they don't really seem that eager. At least that's what Business Insider said. Touching you, Charles and Tom, thank you. And thank you, Elijah, for becoming a member. Now, I've had a lot of people telling me that this is the same law firm that investigated OTK. Is that true? OTK statement allegations. Tom, do you have any photos of your Halloween costume from 2 days ago? I just can't stop live flicker gooning to Minion, Guyat, 4K, IRL, Skibbity Riz. I actually didn't even get to wear the costume. I was doing other stuff. On Halloween, I was breaking into an abandoned prison. That's what I was doing. It was a video where he hired people from Best Buy. Okay. Is this video even still up? Is this it?
I'm in front of a restaurant.
Let's see if we can find Best Buy. Did you ever figure out what was wrong with your audio last stream? No, I didn't. How long are you streaming? I guess you have to see. You never know. Smaggle, did you send me that? You didn't. You fuck. The one time Smaggle should be sending me something, he's not, which is awesome. I'm really curious. I'm really curious if he's ever going to respond. I think that he's going to have to, if he wants to actually dispel this shit, he's going to have to respond in detail. Because the thing is, to a certain demographic of people, will this statement appeal to them? Yeah. But I think the people it would appeal to are people who don't know about the allegations anyway. Everybody who's actually looking into this stuff are also people who are going to want an in-depth response rather than a very like corporate PR kind of response, right? I think that's basically what would have to happen here. Now, there's also this whole drama going on with a MrBeast group chat, right? MrBeast won't respond. The mindless 4-year-olds will never care. Well, the thing is, it's more than mindless 4-year-olds he has to appeal to. He has to appeal to everyone, right? And the number one person he has to appeal to is advertisers. And if to advertisers it looks like it's a bad idea to sponsor MrBeast, then they're not going to, right? MrBeast is not just a YouTuber. He's not anymore. He's got this big Amazon thing going on, which is a $100 million deal that he was given money for from one of the biggest companies in the world to produce a show for streaming. And when you're there, the standards are not the same as YouTube, right? They're much, much higher in terms of how you can act. So realistically, I think he's going to have to give a real response if he wants to entice advertisers, right? Are the people who are going to watch MrBeast regularly going to care? Probably not. I don't think advertisers will care if he keeps getting millions of views. If advertisers feel like the pressure could make their company look bad, then they will. Like, for example, with Twitch, right? A lot of companies are pulling out of Twitch right now. Twitch is still getting a lot of viewership, but according to Dan, at least 70% of people have left, right? I mean, like, also look at YouTube with the adpocalypse years ago, right? With the Wall Street Journal. However cringe and shitty the article was that was calling out PewDiePie and getting, like, Disney to drop him and shit like that, right? A lot of advertisers like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, companies like that still pulled out because even though the, you know, larger platform being YouTube is, like, the one place they can go to get that kind of widespread advertising, at the same time, if they think it will negatively reflect on their company, they are going to pull out. And the benefits of that also is if they pull out, then MrBeast or YouTube or Twitch are more desperate for advertisers, and they're going to come crawling back with lower rates for the same product, which is ultimately beneficial. Dan walked back the 70% figure on his Twitter, saying I'll have a new figure soon. Gotcha. But yeah, realistically, like it's not as simple. It's not as simple as, oh, well, the kids watching him don't care. Like that is a big part of it, but that's not the entire sort of story, you know? I don't think anyone cares, including advertisers. Advertisers definitely do. They definitely do. I hate Dogpack and people like Pansino. They're way too smug. I mean, they are very smug, but at the same time, like, I think you should care less about the tone and more about what they actually have to say. Dogpack, he's had some serious bullshit, but in the beginning, I would say that he had a lot of very good criticisms of MrBeast that probably should be answered for, that ultimately are being very, very vaguely addressed in MrBeast's statement here, you know? Now, with that being said, I want to watch this Rosanna Pansino video. Now, there was some controversy around this video. I saw like Nick Diorio and Smaggle and some other people were saying that there was at one point like censored CP in the video. To my knowledge, it's completely censored now, so there's no like legal risk of me watching this video, so I'll be able to take a look at it, but we're gonna take a look.
The proof that Jimmy knew about Tyson's behavior is right here.
So Ava Tyson sends a photo of a young-looking girl in a sheer top.
Ivanka Trump when she was 13. How the hell could Jimmy say he doesn't know about his best friend when he's posting this in the chat with him? Hey guys, it's Ro. So, new update. I have received thousands of leaked messages from an official MrBeast work chat. These are all just their work chats from 2020 to about 2021 on Telegram. I verified the legitimacy of these chats with multiple former employees, and let me tell you, they are absolutely insane. I've done my best to censor the messages for you in this YouTube video, but I just want you to know that the actual chats are
It wasn't CP, but they thought it was? Okay. Do you have some kind of response from them about this? Because we're just watching their video right now. It wasn't a work chat, was it not? A work chat at all? I mean, they said it was. I'm kind of confused here, I guess.
Uncensored, and I just wanted to give you guys a warning. Also, I want to give you a quick trigger warning. Some of these messages touch on sensitive topics like SA, anti-Semitism, incest, and one message even allegedly contains a sexually explicit photo of a 13-year-old child.
Oh.
Again, this is a work chat. I'll be releasing many of these chat messages as I sort through them over the next few weeks, but today I'm just going to focus on showing that MrBeast was very aware of Ava Tyson's online behavior and even encouraged and engaged in extremely inappropriate behavior himself.
All right. So we're gonna have to see if there's sort of definitive evidence of this, of him knowing for sure. I reported what I found and my concerns to the authorities, FBI. Okay, she reported to the FBI. Hopefully they'll look into these MrBeast Telegram company chat logs and other concerns. These chat logs were confirmed to be legitimate to me by a few former MrBeast employees who were in the chats. I'm continuing to sort through them. We'll keep you updated in the coming weeks. This video was also immediately flagged as not suitable for advertisers, which says a lot. This video will most likely be restricted, but I think it's an important video to make regardless. Well, yeah, I mean, with the subject matter, it's not surprising that this kind of thing was hit with limited ads, basically, right? Everyone in chat saying the video is incredibly dishonest. Is there something I can look at that shows it's dishonest? Because I haven't seen all of this.
Not aware, Ava Tyson, formerly Chris Tyson, was MrBeast's best friend for over a decade. They were roommates, and Ava was a main cast member in the videos for over 5 years. In June of this year, allegations started coming out against Ava Tyson for allegedly supporting Shadman, an artist famous for drawing children.
I mean, allegedly supporting Shadman, I say that's really couching the criticism there. I'd say Ava Tyson, Chris Tyson, whatever, definitely supported Shadman. I'd say that's without a doubt, right? That's without a doubt true. 1000% supported Shadman. Was a huge fan, was responding every day, right? Was like, I love you so much. Was going on his website, sending the link to other people, like had art, allegedly supporting Shadman. I'd say definitely supported Shadman, there's no doubt.
In sexually explicit ways. Ava was also accused of grooming a minor that she met through MrBeast. In July, MrBeast released the following statement. Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online, and I am disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I have been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have
Nick has made a video disproving all this, as one yesterday morning as the most proof, just proving these chats. Okay, I'll take a look at that after this.
All the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with MrBeast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their findings. This statement received significant backlash because people thought MrBeast's claim of of only recently becoming aware of Ava's problematic behavior seemed more than unlikely, me included. I personally don't even think he wrote that statement. I think it was put out by his spokesperson or publicist or crisis management team or his assistant. I know how he talks. I've worked with him for years and I know his voice. If you read through the production manual, that paper, that's how he talks. This is...
Well, yeah, he probably didn't write it, but in fairness, during an allegation like this, like, you're going to want to have a professional helping you out so you don't fuck up somehow, right? Because even if you think that you're communicating everything as tightly as possible, people could pick it apart, you know what I mean? I think that that is, you know, probably a fair thing to do. Now, I think a big point of contention with the whole MrBeast thing in general is going to be whether he knew that Chris was having inappropriate interactions with minors. I think it's probably likely that he knew who Shadman was and knew that Chris was a fan, but it's hard to say if he knew that Chris was actually messaging minors inappropriately. And I think that distinction is going to be a big one to a lot of people, you know?
Probably like, oh, I didn't do it. And MrBeast even had a Shadman poster hanging up in his house in the living room, like as a centerpiece, and it remained in his house after Ava moved out. You can see it in this video. On top of that, MrBeast was active on the Discord chats where Ava was accused of grooming minors. So did Jimmy know? Well, let's get to the messages. So there's thousands of messages to sort through. So I've asked for some help.
Okay, so Ro's not going to know what a lot of this stuff is, like Garfield vor art, so I'm going to walk her through some of this.
Garfield vor art. Okay, great. Garfield vor art. Why, though? Why is Chris such a fucking gooner, bro? Goddamn, Chris. Garfield vor art? We're going that deep? Holy shit.
Stuff. First,
Garfield?
Yeah, Garfield. We're going to get to it. It's really fun.
Oh my gosh, that's one of my favorite comics.
Me too. You might not like it after this. Okay, but before we get to that, I want to show you that John Smith in these chat logs is MrBeast. We've had this confirmed by multiple...
John Smith is MrBeast. KK, what's the Discord name? MrBeast. I got exposed. Okay, so I guess they're confirming here that this is him. Jimmy, does Keem know Lamau? He'd kill for that drama. Okay.
Former employees. He changed his name on Telegram at some point after. I'll just show some messages to show that John Smith is Jimmy. Here he's saying he got exposed after Keemstar called him a simp on Twitter. And then here he gets tagged as Jimmy by someone else. Of course I knew that. Every time I text Keem about drama, he tells me to fuck off and that he's known for 23 hours.
I want to point out really quick, MrBeast and Keemstar are really close friends. They text, they talk all the time. You'll see them communicating and talking with each other.
Yeah, they're best gambling friends. Here's another...
Are they really close friends? I know that they talk for sure because there was some like... I want to say there was some video we saw where MrBeast was like calling Keemstar on the set and they were having a chat. Considering MrBeast was like a part of the commentary community sort of back in the day, it wouldn't surprise me if they have some kind of communications. I don't know if they're close friends. They just openly talk? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, from my few interactions I've had with Keemstar, it's hard to imagine anyone being close friends with him. You know, just because of the way he is. I don't get the impression he's very close with anyone, but maybe that's just my kind of perception. I know he talks to a lot of people, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's talking to Jimmy relatively consistently. Hello, Mr. Skibbity Swanson. What's up, bro? If you take off all the child comments from the leaks, the rest of this is just an average day on Discord. Well, an average day on Discord is probably not a good thing, to be honest.
Name is, and he says MrBeast. Then again, Ava Tyson tags Jimmy with a video showing a Tesla Model X Plaid, and then Jimmy, who drives, or John Smith, sorry.
One and the same.
John Smith said that wasn't me, haha. Jimmy also drives a Tesla Model X Plaid. It's clearly Jimmy. And
that's probably the worst thing he's done, okay? You have all the money in the world. You can buy any car you want. You buy a Model S Plaid. You can buy literally anything. You buy a Plaid. What's wrong with you? Jimmy, even the i8 was better than this, and I don't like the i8. If I was him, I'd have a crazy assortment of cars. Okay, like why a Tesla of anything? You can buy anything. You buy a Tesla. Why, bro? Why?
Then again, John Smith posting a selfie of Jimmy because he is Jimmy. If that didn't prove it, this sure should. It's John Smith linking Jimmy Donaldson's wiki feet and then saying, my feet are a 4.8 out of 5.
Is there actually a wiki feet for MrBeast? MrBeast wiki feet. Holy shit. Wow. What the fuck is this? He actually, currently has a 4.94 out of 5. There's a lot of pictures of his feet here. I feel like I shouldn't be seeing this. What the fuck? Why, bro? Yeah, this rocks, bro. Yeah, check that out. He got so many pictures of his feet. Someone's documenting them all. Well, it's good. It's good to hear that this guy says, I'm sorry, but he has really unattractive feet. Also, he's shitting on him. This person, though, says his feet are so nice. Nice soles. Nice looking soles. Nice legs. Nice tops. Big, beautiful, masculine soles. What video is this from? This guy just wants some goon material. Never mind, found it. 7 days buried alive. I'm glad that guy found his goon material so we can jerk off. This guy, Tyler Pitter, with this profile picture says, can someone explain? 2 weeks without eating is the dumbest thing I've heard, and just shows his feet again. That's so funny. Okay, damn. I don't think I could do a 2-week fast. That sounds rough, bro.
Oh, that's embarrassing. Mine are 5 out of 5. Don't want to brag, but that's embarrassing. So in these chats, Jimmy is John Smith.
Yeah. So now that we know that Jimmy's John Smith, I'm going to get to the messages, starting with the sexually explicit photo of an alleged 13-year-old.
Oh my gosh.
Ava Tyson says, so this photo is allegedly of Ivanka Trump when she was 13. Her modeling agent, John Casablancas, has been accused of pedophilia, but reverse searching the image only brings up 54 results, and most are just message boards of people using the image randomly. If this is true, they really tried to wile this shit from the internet. Do they mean hide this shit from the internet? This sort of is a nightmare with receipts. How is this shit not being addressed? Okay, so they're saying it's Ivanka Trump. So is Ava here is like calling them out? Ava's like calling out the person who took the photo, the modeling agent, John Casablancas? Is that essentially what they're saying? Mind you, they're looking at a picture of what they believe could potentially be CSAM, so they're lucky it wasn't. Yeah, it looks to me like they did censor it in post for sure. They have it here. So they thought that they were showing, I guess, child porn on YouTube. That's the criticism essentially. I mean, that's not good if that's the case, obviously.
Oh, this isn't a work chat.
So Ava Tyson sends a photo of a young-looking girl in a sheer top.
Ivanka Trump when she was 13.
Yeah, and the message reads, so this photo is allegedly of Ivanka Trump when she was 13. Ava thought that this was possibly a 13-year-old, and she's posting it in a work chat. And then I've done a reverse image search, and I mean, it seems plausible that it is.
Why would you ever send somebody a picture of a 13-year-old topless?
A lot of people on the internet are labeling this picture as Ivanka Trump. I can't find any definitive proof that it is, but
It looks like her.
It does look like her, but like, yeah, it looks bad. And I can't confirm or deny if it is. I mean, it seems plausible to me, but either way, like having Ava Tyson, oh, this photo is allegedly Ivanka Trump when she's 13, and it's clearly sexually explicit. You can, you know, she's wearing a see-through top. That's insane.
That is.
So was the photo censored when Chris or Ava sent it? Like, was the photo censored when they sent it at all? Or was it only censored when they used it here? That would be my question. Because, I mean, the question is, I guess, like, you know, not to defend Chris Tyson here, because Chris Tyson is a weird person, undoubtedly, but were they showing the same, like, version of a censored image that they're showing here to, like, criticize the guy who was taking it and talk about it as if it was some kind of, like, you know, fucked up thing that should be covered? Because it seemed like it said censored in post. Yeah, it did, but I'm questioning, like, was it censored at all when Ava had it, or was it only censored when they had it? He obtained it uncensored, censored, then deleted, apparently? Okay, interesting. It was uncensored in the chat, censored with a red bar in the video, and blurred on YouTube editor. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, I mean, definitely shouldn't have been sent uncensored. That's pretty weird. That's pretty gross. But, you know, I guess the intention is something I'm questioning here, just generally speaking. Not that that would excuse it, but I'm trying to figure out what was going on, because it didn't seem like Chris was like, look at this hot 13-year-old. They were like, you know, this is really fucked up that this was, you know, happening at all. This person took a picture of Ivanka Trump when she was too young, right?
Wildly inappropriate and just insane for a company chat, which I don't know if any of you guys have not entered the workforce. Don't do that. And as we go through these messages, I just want to remind everyone that Jimmy is in these chats. He's very active in these chats.
Also, here's the Department of Justice website, Citizen's Guide to U.S. Federal Law on CP.
Yeah, and we're saying CP because YouTube, they flag you and all that stuff.
And I'll read this for you.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it.
Images of CP are not protected under First Amendment rights and are illegal contraband under federal law. The United States Code defines CP as any visual depiction of sexually explicit conduct involving a minor who's someone under 18. Visual depictions include photographs. Notably, the legal definition of sexually explicit conduct does not require that an image depict a child engaging in a sexual activity. A picture of a naked child may constitute illegal CP if it is sufficiently suggestive.
That image was suggestive.
Yeah, in my best judgment, if this is a 13-year-old, as Ava alleges, I would say that this constitutes a CP, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Let's see if Jimmy knew about Ava's concerning behavior. June of 2021, he sends a message of an anime called...
It's a pic of her at 18. Dogpack confirmed it on Twitter. Did he? Let me look for that. Update. I received the original source of the Ivanka photo. It's from an April 2000 British GQ magazine photo shoot. Surprisingly, it is actually her, and she was 18 at the time. I'm sure now people will flip and say I should have reverse image searched the photo more before going to the authorities and the media. Also, Roe first visited the FBI before filming the YouTube video and other lies being spread. Everything was handled in accordance with the law. And again, Roe and I never reported Ava's allegation of 13 as fact. I showed what Ava alleged. I showed the law and said that if it actually was a 13-year-old, it would constitute CP in my opinion. Other people ran CP as fact, not us. Okay, so it wasn't actually a 13-year-old. I'm curious if Rosanna has posted like a follow-up kind of video to that. Doesn't look like she has yet. But I would say that clarifying that there was actually an 18-year-old would probably be pretty good. I think that'd probably be pretty good. Should have gone to the FBI in the first place. Well, they are saying they did. There's nuance here, though. If there's a nude of someone who's 18 but looks 13, that still says something about the people who believe they're 13 and gooning over it. That's true. But in fairness, Chris wasn't gooning over the photo. Chris was like, this is fucked up. This picture was taken. But I would say that it's still weird that Chris sent it to the chat at all. You know, I don't want to go out on a limb here and defend Chris, because I don't think Chris should be defended. Chris definitely never should have sent that image in a group chat in the first place, but I am surprised that Rosanna and Dogpack put the photo, even when it was censored, in this video regardless. I'm kind of, I guess, weirded out by that, I would say.
Higgy says, I bet Chris would love this show. Why?
What's this show about?
Well, it's interesting that you ask, because this show is about a romantic relationship between a 26-year-old salaryman and a 17-year-old high school runaway. It's well known online to be a controversial anime, and this anime is based on even more explicit novels that go into the details of this romantic relationship between an adult and a girl.
So Jimmy and
That's also false, is it? I mean, it wouldn't be surprising to me if Chris was looking at some kind of like lolly / gooner groomer anime, right? That wouldn't be surprising to me at all. That's not what the show is about. What is the show about? What show is this? It's a Japanese romantic comedy light novel series. It was serialized online. Plot. Young, handsome salaryman Yoshida had finally gathered up the courage to confess his feelings for his employer and longtime crush. Sadly, though, he ended up being rejected and goes out drinking with his coworker and best friend Hashimoto to relieve himself of his sorrows. While heading back home in a drunken state, he meets Sayu Ogiwara, a teenage high school girl who asks to spend the night with him. He lets her in out of pity because he's too exhausted to argue, saying to himself he'll chase her out tomorrow. The next day, now sobered up, Yoshida asks Seiyu and how she ended up at his apartment. She reveals that she had run away from her family and home in Hokkaido and has been prostituting herself to random men in exchange for a place to stay. Now knowing her backstory, Yoshida, feeling bad for her, finds himself unable to kick her out of his house, and their time living together begins. Okay, so I guess the question is how old she is when they start dating, I guess. This is cancer, don't watch anime? I mean, true. Yeah, obviously. The show's a bit deeper than what the synopsis would lead you to think. I mean, the criticism here is they're essentially saying they did not date. Well, okay, they don't date. So does he just take her in and is nice to her and there's no dating at all? I've never seen the show. They don't date, he just lets her live there? Okay. Well, I feel like maybe if that is the case, they probably should have looked into this a bit more. It's a father figure type deal? Gotcha. Okay.
A 26-year-old salaryman and a 17-year-old high school runaway. It's well known online to be a controversial anime, and this anime is based on even more explicit novels that go into details of this romantic relationship between an adult and an underage girl.
So Jimmy in the chats is saying, I bet Chris would love this show because it's right up her alley.
Why do you think Chris would love that show, Jimmy?
Why specifically this?
Right, let me go over that message again.
Well, it's interesting that you ask, because this show is about a Higgy.
John Smith sends this, I bet Chris would love this show. Adding it to my list, you know your boy loves slice of life. Okay, so their interpretation is Jimmy's sending it because he knows that Ava's a file. Maybe the actual interpretation is he's sending it because Chris knows that Ava's a lolicon, but maybe the most charitable to MrBeast is it's literally a slice of life anime, and he wasn't showing it to Ava because there was any lolly stuff in it, and there wasn't like anything really weird. That's basically, I guess, what the delineation is here.
And this anime is based on even more explicit novels that go into the details of this romantic relationship between an adult and an underage girl.
So Jimmy in the chats is saying, I bet Chris would love this show because it's right up her alley.
Why do you think Chris would love that show, Jimmy?
Why specifically this anime out of all animes out there? I've heard there's a lot of different animes out there.
There is, and Ava is well versed in all of them. Here's some chat messages talking about Digimon, how the first episode of season 5 is a beach episode, so much boobies, and if you don't follow the plot, Food Wars is just food and oops, she clarifies, underage porn.
Oh.
They're like, hey, we're all second year high schoolers and now we are having isms. This steak is so bomb.
So once again, referencing underage sexual situations.
Which is going to be a common theme through these messages.
Which is apparently very important for a work chat.
Again, sexually explicit.
They keep saying it's a work chat. Is this a work chat? I guess I'm just curious. They did say they had several people verify it was a work chat, but there can be like a chat amongst friends that maybe, you know, they discuss work because they work together, but it's not necessarily a real work chat. I just don't form paranormal. I think I mean parasocial, but paranormal is funnier. I just don't form parasocial relationship with the content creators. My lifestyle is better for it. Yeah, I mean, the thing is you shouldn't, because you don't know the person you're watching on the other side of the screen. You know, anyone you watch online could be a horrible person, you know? Like, all you can really do is take in what they actually say in the content and try not to attach yourself to them outside of that, right?
Explicit meme about Violet from
No!
The Incredibles.
Oh no!
He also engaged with a meme on Twitter of Violet throwing her backpack, and he responded, "Low-key, she cute." And a reminder, Violet is a fictional character
We did see that. I mean, that's not surprising from Chris.
that's 14 years old.
I love The Incredibles. This is an adorable movie that I watch with my nephews, and I agree she is cute, but I don't think Tyson is saying she's cute the way I'm thinking she's cute.
Well, here, I'll explain the meme to you.
This looks like, what's the rule on the internet where they take something and they turn it into
Rule
porn?
34.
This is Rule 34ing a cute little 14.
Ben Yee, I don't know how true this is. I'm going to have to actually look at this. Says it's a meme chat that became a work chat later, but all the messages in the videos are from when it was a meme chat. Okay.
14-year-old character?
Yeah.
What is the meme?
Do you get it?
I don't get it.
So it's imagining a 14-year-old with nipple piercings and a butt plug.
What is Tyson and MrBeast doing at work?
Grooming minors in a Discord, apparently. There's another meme
Messed up.
posted by Ava. I didn't know she was 12. Tell it to the judge, bub. It's a Roblox meme. Here's another one from Animal Crossing.
No, oh no, not
Yeah,
Animal
we're
Crossing.
gonna ruin all your favorite.
No, that's enough. I love Animal Crossing. This is
Okay,
heartbreaking.
well, look away then. You've got something really big in your pocket. Hurry up and show it to me. Okay, it's a clock. And then I don't know what this... Are you familiar with flattening?
What is that?
I think it's just self-explanatory. Yeah.
Oh no, that's
That's
a
bad.
ton of Nazi symbols. One thing that really bothered
Oh no, that's a ton of Nazi symbols. How terrible. Imagine having swastikas all over your walls, right out of frame of where your camera is. I can't imagine anyone doing that. Nick's research found it was a meme chat until it was made a work chat after 2021. Most people were kicked out. We'll take a look at that later.
bothers me is that when you look at the dates of these chats, this is when Jimmy was already mainstream. This is when his videos are getting millions of views. He's claiming to be like really family friendly. He's working with a lot of creators like myself who had family friendly brands. And so just reading through these, that these chats are happening the same time is really disturbing. Some of Jimmy's videos from this time period have over 300 million.
Well, in fairness, like someone laughing at a swastika meme and then being family friendly on YouTube is like, I don't think that's like a conflict of interest. Like, obviously you're not gonna be putting swastika memes, even if you think they're funny, in your YouTube videos that are viewed by children. But if you're an adult, you might still find that stuff funny, right? To act like that's like an impossible thing to find funny is kind of silly, right?
Million views each, and they're targeted at children, and he's very aware of his child audience. This is his choice to hang out with people like this and talk this way in private while simultaneously creating content for children. It creeps me out. Not only is this kind of behavior happening on
I guess I'm still not sold on the fact that MrBeast knew that Chris was attracted to minors, right? Or even thought that at all. I'm just not sold on that at all.
line and having this inappropriate relationship with minors, but then he physically brought Tyson in person and they're around kids. In my opinion, I'll just put it out there, I don't think Jimmy and his friends like this should be around women and children.
These Telegram chats are for
Women and children. You don't think MrBeast should be around women and children? Really? I feel like it's not that. I haven't seen any proof of MrBeast ever being weird with any minor or woman at all. I don't really get this. I don't really get that claim. It seems kind of silly. Also, why women? What do women have to do with this? Like, is this just something you're throwing in there?
for employees only, but Ava was posting similar things in the
Did MrBeast go gorilla mode? Like, is there evidence of that? Is he a forced love enjoyer?
Discord, and then the Discord got scrubbed. And it's like, what it's doing is like normalizing adults talking sexually to children. It's like, oh, it's a joke. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're still exposing sexual content to children. You're normalizing it to them, which is like the first step of grooming.
I really don't like the Nazi symbols. That really...
When it comes down to, I mean, Chris's interactions in that Discord, I can't defend that, obviously. I think Dogpack is right. That is very weird, and that is a part of, you know, the thing about Chris is, like, Chris wasn't, you know, grooming a minor in the way where, like, they're trying to meet up with a kid to fuck him, right? We haven't seen any evidence of that. But Chris was so porn-brained such a gooning addict that they didn't think it was weird to send explicit, you know, art and content in a chat with minors. And that in and of itself is worthy of criticism and very weird. But I just don't know that MrBeast is guilty of the same thing. That's like my biggest thing. And also like Nazi symbols, like you can't joke about Nazism. Can you not like make jokes about it? I don't really get it, you know? I don't really get it at all.
Bothers me too, because my grandfather, he was a Marine and he fought against Nazis. I just hate it.
Okay, well, you're fucking old, so you don't get it, but swastikas are hilarious and funny. So I once again, like I don't really see why you can't joke about a serious subject. It's not like he was like on, you know, fucking YouTube being like 1488, we're all MrBeast feastable enjoyers are going to Hyperborea. Like he was just fucking around, you know, he was joking. MrBeast joining Wendigoon on the not being allowed near people or society club. Well, Wendigoon definitely should not be allowed near people or society, and that's 100% base. There's no doubt in my mind.
Taking cute little games and then making them all
Yeah, you're gonna have a bad day today. Here's another message from Ava Tyson where she posts a screenshot of a similar female creator, and it's a slip saying Olinity is still not banned.
Very crucial to the work that they're doing there over at MrBeast LLC.
Showing a anime figurine.
Wait, but why even highlight that message? Like, it's an adult having a nip slip. Is that the worst thing in the world? Like, they're an adult who had a nip slip. Can you not like comment on that or like share it among friends and laugh at it? Is that like a bad thing to do? Is this really a work chat is also a question, but I just don't really, I don't know. I don't really get why it's like a problem that they laughed at a nip slip. It's super mild, super mild. This seems like a big departure from the allegations that Chris is like into minors or something like that, right?
Banned.
Very crucial to the work that they're doing there over at MrBeast LLC.
Showing an anime figurine called Raphtalia. Now, what's interesting about this character, it seems like it's technically a 10-year-old, but her body morphs. So there's like an adult version and a child version, but she's always mentally a child. More weird, I guess. Here's a message from Jimmy himself.
Yeah, I mean, typical Chris, I guess.
I guess it's a meme of a fake video saying, I filled my brother's house with cum and bought him a new one.
Oh, gross. Hey, at least we're not talking about children for once, but I think maybe if
I feel like that's just funny.
you know you have a child audience and you're being invited to like the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards because of your large child audience, maybe knowing that this kind of stuff is not appropriate and gross.
But like, what is it really that bad? Like, it's a private joke about a video. Like, is he not allowed to joke about his own videos? Like, cum jokes aren't allowed now? Like, I agree, like, if he has a massive child audience, should he be like, hey guys, we've got cum all everywhere, cum. You guys know what cum is? Like, obviously that's weird. Like, he's in a private chat making jokes about cum. Is he not allowed, like, is he not allowed to have sex? Is MrBeast not allowed to have sex because it's, like, privately because it's not appropriate for kids who may find out he has sex? I think it's a big problem to have these two doing the exposing since they both show a hate for MrBeast and give him no charity here, especially when they're breaking the story. I mean, it's fine if they want to do videos about it. I don't think there's any problem with that. I just think, like, they have to do it well, you know, and I don't think this video is doing it super well. I think you can definitely cover this stuff, like, even if you have some kind of bias, if you acknowledge that bias at least. But I think, like, if you're gonna go over this shit, I just think it's, you know, you have to do it well. Like, I feel like the cum joke, it's not that big of a deal. Like, he joked about cum. Like, is that really need to be a focus of here? I feel like the first, like, 3 minutes of this video were the only thing I'm really concerned about, honestly, is, like, that anime and what was going on there, I guess. That figure that Dogpack pointed out, the lolly thing, that is obviously really weird. But, like, the joke about, like, cum, like, oh, I filled my house with cum, is that really that big of a deal? I don't know, probably not. Put MrBeast in a Hannibal Lecter mask and straitjacket in public to protect children. It's fine if he bothers women, though. Based. Thank you, Minarchist.
The issue with this is that an anonymous MrBeast.
Like, I feel like there's a lot of actually very valid criticisms of MrBeast, but it's just, like, we're kind of, you know, you might have one thing in this video that's actually worth talking about, and the rest is kind of, like, fucking whatever.
Employee told Soggy Cereal that I was being
The figure was the adult version? Okay.
creepy because I suggested a video for breast cancer awareness about buying 1,000 boobs. Which, like, maybe not the most professional way to phrase it, you know, it's a little clickbaity or whatever, but, like, the actual video is supposed to be paying for mastectomies and cosmetic surgeries for breast cancer survivors.
That's amazing. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
They're calling you creepy because of that?
Well, in Soggy Cereal's video, he shows a message from an anonymous employee saying that stuff that creeped out coworkers.
Okay, heavily disagree.
I wanted to do actual
I have no idea what that was. I have no idea what the Soggy Cereal thing is.
philanthropy. My manager wanted to do, you know, we saved the village from a tsunami. Whoa.
And it's just them off camera with a hose. What I think is gross is them trying to discredit you when this is going on in the workplace and you're coming up with creative ideas.
They also said I'm the one trying to paint the MrBeast company as unprofessional. Like I'm Bob Ross over here. So check this meme, it's funny.
Okay, let me see this.
You like Bob Ross?
I love Bob.
In fairness, like the painting is unprofessional. Them saying that he's painting them as unprofessional is in regards to like illegal lotteries and shit like that. I assume it's not in regards to like MrBeast making a cum joke. I feel like that's probably not the focus. I don't know.
The warning signs weren't there, guys. I'm just finding out about this now. I only just became aware of Ava Tyson's behavior.
The proof that Jimmy knew
What?
about Tyson's behavior.
You're kidding, bro. Come on, man. It's a meme, bro. I've probably sent that fucking meme 13 times. I've actually never seen this one, but like, come on, bro. It's a fucking... Oh, how could he not have known? He sent the picture of the rat. He sent a picture of the rat. If anyone has ever sent this on Instagram, I'm going to be looking into you now. Okay, have you ever posted this? Ever? Wow. How could people not have known that you were a fucking file if you posted this meme of the rat saying, why, yes, I'm asexual predator. Whoa. Now that is just, I mean, Jesus. That is, I mean, those signs were there the whole time. Like, with other stuff, I feel like there is like a case to be made, especially with the Shadman shit, like the drawing on the wall. Like, I think there could be a case to be made there. But with this, it's like, bruh, come on, bro. It's a fucking meme of a rat from back at the barnyard. This doesn't really mean anything, I don't think.
Is right here. I like that you softened it with Bob.
The world, if there was more Garfield vor art. Have you heard of vor?
No, that sounds like it's from the future.
Maybe. It's like a sexual cannibalism. Porn that you watch where people are eating each other or something. Or like illustrated. I don't know. Hold on, we have the definition here. Let me just read the definition straight from dictionary.com. It's a fetish involving being eaten or eating someone.
We have a lot of things that, you know, the ladies talk about at brunch where we're like, we don't kink shame some of that fun, weird stuff, you know, but I feel like this is crazy. Eating people, that's cannibal stuff. Why bring Garfield into it?
I mean, okay, like, look, you know, I think the vor shit is weird. But once again, is that like evidence that, you know, Chris Tyson is file because they like the vor art? I feel like this is like the least compelling thing ever. Like, there's so much more on Chris Tyson you can go over. I feel like them sending a meme about Garfield vor art is probably not the most convincing thing ever. Rosanna went crazy on Nick's stream a couple of nights ago because he was saying how he felt about the drama. She was not pleased. Gotcha. Like, it's just a fucking meme, bro. Also, like, cannibalism. Like, I mean, I guess technically is it like cannibalism? Like, yeah, but it's like fucking, it's like cartoons of people, like, you know, if you've seen what vor art on DeviantArt looks like, it's not like it's like super realistic, like I'm gnawing at their bones. It's like a fucking like fat inflated thing like sucking in another human. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to be that bad if they sent a meme about it. Like, really?
What?
You'll know about this next one.
Oh, jeez.
My childhood being filled with Nick's greedy cummies. I mean, that, you know, that's weird. You know, shout out Chris. Definitely a Chris thing. Definitely a Chris statement. This is like Rosanna's first day on the internet. I mean, she is like fucking old, so I assume she just has no idea what's going on here. She's just like, what? Vor? She's like shocked. It's like, bro, you're not far enough down the rabbit hole to understand what's going on here. What? Nick like Nickelodeon? Is that what they mean? I mean, it's, you know, it's weird, I guess.
My childhood being filled with Nick's greedy.
So you know what cummies are.
I can guess.
What is cummies?
Well, right?
Oh, you think it's cum?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, age play, role play.
Yeah.
None of my friends do that.
Wait, what? BDSM, usually using the plural, an emission of semen or female ejaculate, used especially in the context of age play. Is it? Is that what cummies means? I didn't think it had anything to do with age play. I thought it was like a, you know, sort of a little cum type thing. It's like you've got cum, you got like the little cum, the cummies, you know? I didn't think it had anything to do with age play. Okay, I didn't know that was the definition here, but is that the context Chris was using it in? I mean, they just say childhood, so in fairness, you know, don't want to give Chris too much of a defense here. I can't really do that, but I don't know if they're reading too much into this word. Me to Tom, did you pray today? I probably need to after this shit.
Age play, role play.
Yeah.
None of my friends do that, by the way. Just let you know, we talk a lot at brunch and that's never come up. Oh my gosh, this just doesn't stop, you guys. There's so much in here.
Here's another good one. Sex offenders, sex midfielders, and sex defenders.
And a sex goalie. National Pegging Day?
And then this guy Bailey, who was an editor at MrBeast, said, Jackson said he used to peg kids in summer camp. And then Ava pinned that message.
Top priority, professional, work chat happening here.
Yeah.
It's a little kid. Mm-hmm. I'm in class right now and you made me hurt you naughty whore. He's like 5.
That's disgusting.
Okay, I mean, in fairness, this is a fucking meme, right? Like, people have sent a lot of memes around of like people making goofy faces. Like, The meme behind it is not like jerking off to a kid. The meme behind it is the idea that like, some fucking like dork would like send a fucking like a message like that over Discord, and then like you see the person behind it and it's like a kid in fucking class, right? Like the joke is not I love kids, right? Like that's not even what the joke is. I don't know, man. It seems like they're reading into some of these a little bit.
Oh.
What's problematic about this is that Ava has access to so many children through MrBeast, MrBeast
Right.
Gaming, MrBeast Discord, and she's posting about children referencing sexually explicit topics.
Right. It's just really dangerous because the majority of viewers, I feel like, on YouTube are youth. Whoever he
It's a meme, but to be fair, there's a lot of child sex themed memes. I mean, yeah, I guess, but like the thing is, like, when it comes to Chris, right? There are people who you will meet who find like the idea of pedophilia to be the funniest thing in the world, right? If you're talking to that person in any context, does it make you know that they're a pedophile if they think that like fucking like pedo memes are funny? Like bear memes were so popular not even that long ago. Is everybody who found that funny a pedophile? And is everybody who like saw someone sending that, are they supposed to like interpret that anybody who sent it is a pedophile? Like I don't think so. Like jokes can be funny. The thing with Chris is like the Discord. That's the real thing, you know. That's the real thing with Chris. And I mean also, you know, the Shadman stuff.
he's working with, who's in his orbit, then also has access to a ton of these kids. You have to be really thoughtful about people that you work with and have in your inner circle because they're also representing you and your brand. And he definitely knew. I mean, this has been
I don't know that he knew is the thing. Like, to me, it just doesn't make sense that if he knew, he wouldn't just fire Chris. Because MrBeast's priority to me does not seem to be people. It seems to be his YouTube channel. It seems to be him succeeding at any cost. Like, I feel like if he thought that anybody on his team was having an inappropriate interaction with a minor, he would fire them immediately. Now, maybe I'm giving him too much charitability, but I don't know. I do find it somewhat hard to believe that he would knowingly employ someone he believed to be a pedophile. You know, like I do find that kind of crazy. It's a decent point, Tom, but that's why this is all in retrospect. No one will call it out, maybe rightly so, but now we know the truth. Well, true. I think in retrospect, a lot of the Chris stuff does look weird because of their weird interactions in the Discord. But like to believe that people should have known, they would have to also know that MrBeast was having inappropriate, they would have to also believe that MrBeast knew that Chris was having inappropriate interactions with minors by sending them porn. And I don't know if MrBeast knew that.
Signs are all there. And
Delaware, I mean, Delaware is really bad, but I don't know that MrBeast knew that Delaware was a pedophile, right? Or was a sex offender when he hired him, right? So, like, that's a big question for me. Like, did MrBeast know? I don't know that he knew. It seems like he should have known, but I don't know that he knew.
the person that Ava is accused of grooming, she met through MrBeast. Lava, who's the person Ava's accused of grooming, won a MrBeast giveaway. The giveaway was also a knife, which is bizarre because he was, 13 at the time?
That is so dangerous. That knife?
Yeah, they didn't know about this?
I don't think you can buy a knife if you're 13.
No, you probably can't, but they sent it in the mail. Signed MrBeast knife. Lava, the person Ava Tyson's accused of grooming, became a moderator.
They gave away a CSGO knife. I want to be honest, I don't really care that they gave away a CSGO knife. I don't care at all. Like, that does not matter to me. I don't care they gave away a CSGO knife. Like, I just don't give a shit. I'm sorry. Like, this is a non-point to me.
In the Discord chat where he was aware of the not safe for work, sexually explicit memes and images being posted.
I didn't know that he was a mod.
Yeah, and here's some messages of people in the Discord saying, I did not expect to see memes and hentai. I should have expected hentai knowing Beast likes Shadman.
Oh, and hentai's that it's like cartoon.
So this is like a random fan in the Discord who knows that Beast likes Shadman back in 2018. There's some more Discord messages. A user named Brooke the Mom saying,
Well, okay, it's a random person saying that they think that MrBeast likes Shadman. That's not necessarily proof that MrBeast did like Shadman, once again.
okay, I do think it's a bit inappropriate and should be limited to those who are actually of appropriate age because it's open to everyone, is it not? Like, there should be a restriction on it. She goes on to say, I don't have an issue with the channel, but I have an issue with our minors that have access to said channel, referring to the not.
Yeah, and like these Discord chats are undoubtedly the most damning thing towards Chris, right? This was once I saw these and dug into these, I was like, oh, Chris was inappropriate with people who are too young, you know? Was it grooming by the definition of like a pedophile seeking to groom a child for the purpose of sex? No, but it's still like very, very, very bad. And I think, you know, if you want to use the word grooming, I think there is a case to be made about sort of the, you know, early introduction type stuff that Chris was probably into. But I still think, like, you know, a lot of the stuff outside of this is kind of, I feel like this video, the most concerning thing is the Ivanka Trump thing. That is concerning, but I would like to know, you know, like what? In fairness, like they said here it may have been a 13-year-old, but then later had to clarify it was actually an 18-year-old. But Chris thought it was a 13-year-old, but also Chris was calling it out. So I don't know. Should Chris have sent that in any chat? Definitely not. If they thought it was a 13-year-old, they should have sent nunchucks instead of the knife.
Not safe for work channel. And then Chris responds, is there even a way to do that? Not really. So what do we do? Like remove it? Why would we remove the not safe for work channel in the MrBeast Discord targeted towards minors? Yeah, true. I mean, to be honest, the internet's full of porn anyway. So like me posting more memes to children doesn't really make a difference. Chris goes on to say, what am I, a parent?
Yeah, I mean, Chris, you can't defend fucking Chris here, bro. Chris is a fucking weirdo.
Tyson is a parent now. I mean, not then, but is now. If you know your audience is children, they're gonna want to jump in the chats. They're gonna want to be a part of the community. They're gonna want to jump in every Discord that's open to the public.
Just don't have it.
Yeah, and also what I'm reading here, you don't need this. This does not need to be public. This is just gross and weird and creepy.
And then the person who Ava Tyson groomed, Lava, responds saying, I say we get rid of it because of the fan base of MrBeast and Chris are mostly under 18.
Thank you, the 13-year-old in the room.
These are from the Discord leaks that happened a couple months ago. After they decided to get rid of the channels, Lava says, commence the cleansing of the Discord, where they got rid of most of the inappropriate stuff, which was before it got leaked. So we don't even really know what was going on in the Discord.
Right, because we only saw the scrubbed version.
Yeah.
So the scrubbed version of the Discord got leaked, but everything else, we don't know what happened there.
Yeah. And also, Lava went on to work for MrBeast Gaming and appear in videos when he was 16, still a minor. Here's one of those videos.
I need you to make this 10 times harder.
How hard do you want it, Jimmy?
Hard.
So again,
Is that really the worst thing? Is that really him being weird? Him saying hard? Is that really like a... Are they saying that MrBeast is some kind of... because he said the word hard in the presence of a 16-year-old who was in his video? I feel like that's kind of nothing. Straight to jail? What do you mean straight to jail? That's retarded. I mean, if MrBeast was having in-depth conversations with a 16-year-old about how having sex is cool and, you know, telling him about all of his fetishes or whatever, that would be weird. But he said the word hard. Like, to my knowledge, Lava has never come out and criticized MrBeast personally. I think he's always said, like, Ava is probably in the wrong, you know. At least initially he was like, Ava didn't groom me. Then he was like, okay, Ava definitely had inappropriate interactions on the server. As far as MrBeast, like, you know, I don't think that he did anything wrong. I don't know. I'm kind of surprised, I guess.
MrBeast crew making sexual jokes with minors, normalizing adults talking to children in a sexual manner.
Okay.
Okay, but that dude, this joke is so nothing. I'm sorry. This joke is so nothing. This joke is so fucking nothing. You don't think it's weird? No, I don't think it's weird to say hard. I don't think that's that bad. I don't think it's bad at all. Like, if it's that compounded with a bunch of other shit of MrBeast interacting with minors in a weird way, you can definitely say, like, okay, this is proof, or this is part of the bigger picture, right, of MrBeast being weird with minors. So I haven't seen anything of him actually being weird with a kid.
Yeah, and that was Jimmy himself doing it.
Yeah. That's completely inappropriate.
You can also get a 50-gallon drum of lube.
Did he just say a 50-gallon drum of lube?
Yeah.
That's like P. Diddy level. This
P. Diddy level? Because he made a joke about lube, it's P. Diddy level? Really? I feel like this is reaching a little bit, man. When I was in 7th grade, I told someone our scientist would be rock hard and got sent to the principal's office. Shout out.
reminds me of P. Diddy where they found all the baby oil. So he's making lube jokes with like a 16-year-old. That's not appropriate anywhere, but that's definitely not appropriate in the workplace.
I just feel like that in particular is not that bad. Like, to say the word lube. I mean, once again, if he was like being extremely explicit with a kid, like, okay, fair enough. But like to make a lube joke and to say that's like P. Diddy and comparable to P. Diddy, I feel like that is retarded.
So you didn't know what dick flattening was. You didn't know what Garfield 4 art is.
No, I've learned a lot today.
But you must know what Dragon's fucking cars is.
What?
Tell me you've heard of this.
No, I have never heard of this. This is ridiculous. One, dragons don't exist, everybody, and this is just... Why would a dragon do that? Looks uncomfortable.
All right, I don't want to show you this, but if you say you want to see it...
I want to do this, so
Okay,
I'm gonna read it.
This is the most disgusting one by far. Well, actually, the CP was probably more disgusting, but message to read from Ava Tyson in these messages.
Oh my gosh, being your little brother would be so fucking hot. I'd hold my ear to your door at the odd hours of the night, hoping and praying to catch the soft moans of my little naughty sister. I would creep my eye to the under door crack and watch the shadows of you move.
Chris is weird. Chris is weird. I don't think you can deny that. Chris is weird.
During family movie night, I'd wear your He's beneath my PJ.
All right, we get the idea. I don't think I need to hear this entire thing, but yeah, Chris is Chris. Shout out Chris. Shout out to Chris, but I love Sunny.
Seriously, to those as a fond memories. How the hell could Jimmy say he doesn't know about his best friend when he's posting this in the chat with him?
I mean, he could just think it was like an edgy 4chan meme, right? Like, a lot of people have sent, like, if Chris wasn't sending that to a kid, which Chris might have been, or at least at the very least, if Jimmy didn't know they were sending it to a kid, I still don't think that Chris knew that, like, there was some kind of gross stuff going on. Or sorry, I don't think Beast knew that there was some gross stuff going on with Chris. Sweeping? How is it sweeping? This is like a copy pasta that's probably been pasted around the internet thousands of times, you know? It is weird, but like the intention and analyzing Chris's intention is still important to me, you know? Like, there's a lot of like really weird, edgy stuff that I read on 4chan when I was 15, 16 that I probably thought was funny. Looking back, it's like, okay, that was pretty fucked up. But like, just because I see someone like posting it because of how absurd it is, I wouldn't say that means that they're a file. Now for Chris, obviously we know enough about Chris that Chris is a very weird person, you know? If it's your best friend, he's doing shit like this, there's no way you wouldn't be somewhat aware. I mean, I just kind of disagree is the thing. Like, if it's your best friend, you're probably going to give them a lot more charitability than you would give, you know, other people in the first place. And if you think that they're joking and that's their intention, you're probably not going to think that they themselves are a file. What if he wrote that, posted a 4chan and screenshotted it? I don't think he did. I feel like I've seen that before.
Actively a part of.
So with all this evidence, I think it's definitely...
Why are you glazing so hard? He runs a business. His target audience is children. Well, yeah, but like, bro, first of all, I'm not glazing. I have no investment in MrBeast being safe or not. Okay. And secondly, like, hold on, what was the rest of that message? Why are you glazing so hard? Okay, target audience full of children. Well, yeah, but like, MrBeast probably thinks like N-word memes are funny. Should he put that to an audience full of children? Probably not. But like, if he's joking about it privately, does that mean that he like can you not make jokes privately? I just don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, target audience full of children. Like, yeah, if he's like posting that copy pasta to children, that's fucking weird. But if not, like, I don't know. I can see how Jimmy could play dumb because Chris is his best friend, but that's also pretty fucked. I mean, the Cogos itself is pretty fucked. I don't think you could deny that. And I don't want to, you know, defend Chris. Once again, I think there's like basically no defense for Chris. But as far as like Jimmy thinking that Chris is a file, like, I just don't know that Chris thought that I don't know that Jimmy thought Chris is a file. I don't know that, you know? Like, a lot of people will make jokes about really fucked up shit.
Fair to say that Jimmy knew about Ava Tyson's behavior. He's clearly engaging with it, sending her memes about, you know, animes involving relationships between adults and underage people. He's active in the chat almost on a daily basis. So it's like, how could you not know?
What's crazy to me is...
the thing is, how could you not know? I just don't think that MrBeast thought that his best friend that he knew since childhood was a file, you know? Like, that's not something you want to believe. That's not something you want to believe unless you see explicit proof of that person being a file, which I don't think that MrBeast had that. I don't think he did.
This is just a small snapshot of a company chat, but it's, I think, one of...
All right, so company chat. I'm curious to see, because I guess Nick made a follow-up to this. They lied about MrBeast and refused to correct it. Rosanna Pansino and Dogpack 404. All right, gotcha. Interesting. We'll have to watch that, I guess, to see what's going on there. I think what you guys have to understand about my position is it's always going to be giving the benefit of the doubt until the last moment, right? Like, that's always going to be my position because, like, you know, I'm very careful of false allegations. I don't want to falsely accuse someone, and then there's more context that I should have known, right? So with MrBeast, like, quote unquote, knowing that Chris was, you know, some kind of creep or weirdo, I don't know that he knew. You know, I don't know that he knew. Did he probably know that Chris was a fan of Shadman? I think so, but I don't know how much he knew about Shadman. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be a fucking mind reader about it, you know? Keem isn't careful with false allegations. Well, I'm not Keemstar, thankfully. All right. Well, I guess Nick posted his video, but I'm curious if I can just get his shit from his Twitter, because usually his Twitter has stuff. Whatever he has to say about this whole situation. Man, this guy tweets a lot. Tom played the drink? No. Holy shit, there's so many tweets about this. Okay. This is like right before I left for my fucking trip. All right. Nick writes, YouTubers Rosanna Pansino and Dogpack 404 released a video this week accusing Chris Tyson of posting CP in a company work chat. In the video, Rosanna and Dogpack review the uncensored image they agree is CP and do reverse image searches for where the original picture originated from. Alongside downloading the image and sharing it on screen, they also used it to promote the video with the red censor bars and thumbnails and tweets. The picture they were reviewing was admitted by them, uncensored CP. Their video makes it clear they only censored it in post. In Rosanna's promotional tweet, she maliciously photoshopped and omitted the context as to why it was posted in the group chat. While no context ever makes posting alleged CP okay, Chris posted it for the exact same reason Dogpack and Rosanna downloaded it to review for the video. This was my thing here, right? Like, with the context of Chris posting, it was not I'm jerking off to Ivanka Trump. It was it's super fucked up that this photo is even being sent anywhere. Because here they say, this is Chris's words, right? So this photo is allegedly of Ivanka Trump when she was 13. Her modeling agent, John Casablancas, has been accused of but reverse searching the image only brings up 54 results, and most are just message boards of people using the image randomly. If this is true, they really tried to hide the shit from the internet. I assume that they meant hide instead of while, because while wouldn't make sense. This thread's a nightmare with receipts. How is this shit not being addressed? So yeah, I mean, it's the same context, right? Like, Rosanna's calling Chris out for even posting it, then posted it herself, and then, like, you know, like, they don't really discuss the context of Chris, like, shitting on whoever posted it or took that picture of Ivanka in the messages themselves, right? All right, so that happened, and then, let's see here. Looking forward to seeing how many Redditors are going to side with them, reviewing, censoring, and uploading what they thought was CP to own MrBeast. Diora goes in multiple rants on the Rosanna Pansino video of the MrBeast chat leaks, notably on showing what she deemed as CP in the video and the validity of the leaks. What does he stand to gain from this? Like, MrBeast isn't going to give him money or anything like that. Why die on this hill? I legit don't understand. I'm confused on why he's trying so hard to defend Beast. There's a bit of a conspiracy theory spreading due to leaked screenshots showing MrBeast and Keem having a connection, that Keem might be pulling favors from MrBeast with the commentary channels. Okay, so there is a conspiracy going on here, I guess, is what the allegation is. This person says, Nick, Willie Mack, and a few others have been weirdly obsessed with Dogpacks to the point it's equating flagrant dick riding from MrBeast. Dogpacks definitely made some serious mistakes that have hurt his credibility, and his third video was definitely a mistake, but that doesn't change the fact there's still valid criticism of MrBeast and his crew. That doesn't magically make the very real documented evidence and the testimony of many others suddenly invalid. Well, in fairness, is that what Nick said? Did he say that it's all the criticism is invalid just because there's criticism of Dogpack? I feel like the criticisms are so important to be made, right? You may have missed it as the thread got deleted. Dogpack responded on Reddit with his reasoning for including what he believed to be CSAM, apparently legally censored in Rosanna's recent video. Okay, Dogpack responded. He said, I received access to the work chats not knowing there was potential CP. When I saw it, I reverse image searched it thinking it was probably fake news. Cursory search revealed nothing conclusive, and obviously I didn't want to dig deeper through weird websites, so I censored the image and deleted the source. Ro and I only ever reacted to or redistributed the 100% legal censored images. This guy said you probably shouldn't have put the image there to begin with. MrBeast Creative, so this is Dogpack, he said it's a highly censored photo. What's the alternative? Posting a black rectangle? Just tell people to trust me that there's potential illegal photo underneath. Even just based on the description Ava gave, people could still find the photo. I'm still trying to reduce that as much as possible while spreading awareness, which is important for the obvious reasons. Open to hearing your alternative though. Okay. Interesting. Additional responses from today. All right, so Dogpack said, bro, do the smallest amount of research. Accidentally downloading an image does not legally constitute possession. Otherwise, you could get arrested by airdropping them images against their will. Censoring an image to remove nudity is obviously not production of CP. That's literally the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Putting a non-sexually suggestive image in a YouTube video is obviously not distribution of CP. Legally, it was censored. We censored more to prevent reverse image searches, and you don't need to download an image to reverse image search. There's this cool trick called copy-paste. Here he said, I did not. Also, the legal amount of censoring is when the image cannot meet the definition of sexually explicit. If you thought any of the images I showed were sexually explicit, you should report yourself to the FBI so you can get banned from public pool as creep. All right, so going back and forth on the pedo allegations, I guess. Here he said, just to clarify, the claim that Ro and I reacted to uncensored CP is a blatant lie. I have the original screen recording of exactly what I showed Ro. Every picture was sufficiently censored, thus not constituting CP. I downloaded the work chats and deleted the uncensored images as soon as I believed they could be illegal. Neither Ro or her editors ever saw the uncensored picture. It is a fact that I never knowingly saved the uncensored image. It is also a fact that I never distributed the uncensored image knowingly or accidentally. Happy to invite the FBI to verify these facts. Also, as I explained multiple times in the video, the only source I could find for it being a 13-year-old was Ava, who distributed the uncensored photo to a company work chat. Okay. Everything was reported to the authorities and handled in accordance to the law. So here he says, in my best judgment, yeah, this is a quote from the video where he's like, Ava said it might be a CP, but I don't know if it is, basically, right? The thing is, like, Dogpack's intentions, I think, are good. I think he does think that he is, like, exposing MrBeast for being evil. And I think that there are a lot of criticisms we made of MrBeast, and I don't think that he seems like a really great person. But at the same time, I don't think that Nick Diorio criticizing him means that he is like a MrBeast glazer. You know, like, there are criticisms to be made of the critics, undoubtedly. If they fuck up, they should be called out as well. You know, like, being critical of the investigation is as important as being critical of the people you're investigating, because if the investigation isn't done well, you can, you know, the investigators can get themselves into legal trouble, or false allegations can pop up, which MrBeast, if he's guilty of a lot of shit that Dogpack has brought up, could basically be able to hide from the real shit by being like, look at all the false allegations these guys have made, you know? So here he's showing that the thumbnails that they made. Update, I'm totally redeemed. On one hand, thank God they were in possession of actual CP. On the other hand, Dogpack's now able to be hit by a libel suit. I'm about to lose faith in Dogpack when it comes to handling this shit. How much faith did you have after the whole James Warren stuff? Gonna be honest, didn't pay attention to the James Warren stuff. If I did, I'm pretty sure I have none left. I really wish Dogpack wasn't the guy running this whole thing. Like, there's so much important stuff coming out, but he's sloppy, and it's mixed with really sloppy journalism and him generally acting like a toddler over criticism. See him making a guest appearance in the subreddit when called out over his transphobic conspiracy theories about microplastics making people trans. I agree, he just posted misinfo. Granted, Ava said the information first, so it doesn't change that the misinfo was posted. Well, what was the last part? Yeah, that's the thing that happened. Someone posted his transphobic conspiracy theories from his old Reddit account instead of refuting it or saying it wasn't him. He showed up in the comment section, confirmed it was him, and doubled down. Okay, I don't even know what they're talking about there. Obviously, the YouTube drama subreddit is very sensitive to transphobia stuff, so they're going to be trying to find that wherever they can. But I don't know how transphobic his post was, really. Let's see here. If you ever wonder why the same few names always defend MrBeast, the Tea Party chat group is effectively MrBeast's media wing. The Tea Party chat is MrBeast's media wing. So this is the group chat that I was in. I have since left because I just didn't care about it. But this is like a drama chat on Twitter, basically, that existed for a while. So he's saying that the people who are criticizing him are MrBeast's media wing, basically. I mean, I can't speak to Keemstar and how much he talks to MrBeast. I don't know. Keemstar does seem very intent on, I wouldn't say defending MrBeast, but he really doesn't like Dogpack for whatever reason. But as far as like, I don't know, Nick, if I'm going to defend him here, I don't think that Nick has any vested interest in defending MrBeast. My impression is that he just wants, you know, whatever the truth may be. And unfortunately, I think they're having a lot of missteps from Dogpack and Rosanna in this recent video that are probably worth calling out. Connor here writes, yes, Chris Tyson is careless and a terrible degenerate. We all knew this months ago. You're basically asking for mutually assured destruction, except what Dogpack and Rosanna did is infinitely worse than MrBeast. Chris Tyson sent the image that she thought was CP. Did Jimmy even interact with this? I've yet to see any evidence. That seems to be true. I haven't seen Jimmy interact with that. Dogpack and Rosanna went with Ava's assumption without verifying anything and blasted the potential CSAM to millions of people. So who's worse? Someone being in a Telegram group chat where possible CSAM was sent one time with the context of being outraged by it and not interacting with it at all, Jimmy from MrBeast, or taking that possible CSAM and posting it poorly censored to millions of people, allowing the image to be searched, Dogpack and Rosanna. What should the takeaway and punishment for Jimmy be? Is the big own simply just Jimmy knew? Now the credibility of the opposition to MrBeast is completely destroyed. What should happen to Dogpack and Rosanna for how they handled this? I mean, I think that Dogpack and Rosanna, you know, I think that Dogpack has a lot of valid criticisms of MrBeast. And as far as Rosanna, I haven't seen all of her coverage. She does seem hell-bent on shitting on MrBeast, I'll say that. But there are probably, you know, worthy criticisms she's making, whether it's for the right reasons or not. But she does just seem very, very, like, I mean, just, she's like geared her entire cooking channel towards shitting on MrBeast now, you know? Interesting. Omni said, I think you guys are slowly weakening your own arguments. It's very important to get these facts correct versus leaving it open for speculation. When the result doesn't lean in your favor, it chips away your credibility as a source, especially when others report on it. Now there's this clip.
That's all. Yeah. Oh no, that's all a ton of Nazi symbols.
I didn't see why anyone cared about this in particular. I thought Dogpack was kind of an edgy guy. I could be wrong, but because he came on my stream, he said he missed the old iDubbbz, so I was surprised that he cared about this at all. Like, you know, once again, like if this, like, you know, Nazi meme, which is like obviously the joke about it is the absurdity of like Nazism being an Animal Crossing, right? Like the joke is not how Hitler were actually so red-pilled and base and we love the whites and white pride worldwide, right? Like the joke is clearly just the absurdity of like swastikas being an Animal Crossing. So I just don't see why this in particular is such a big deal. Like, that doesn't mean he's edgy. Well, I don't know. I guess I thought he was a little bit. If he said he missed the old iDubbbz, I mean, the old iDubbbz was very edgy, you know? I will eat moo dang. That is all based. Did you know it's possible to want MrBeast taking accountability and consequence for the sus shit in his operation and also call it Dogpack and his motley crew for spreading false allegations at the same time? I know, right? Truly insane. I mean, yeah, this is basically like the main point here to me. And I wish that the focus was more on MrBeast, but it just seems like, you know, Rosanna and Dogpack are hell-bent on pushing anything in the most negative light towards MrBeast and just trying their very best to prove that he knew 100% about Chris Tyson being a pedo or being a creep or whatever. But kind of in the midst of that, they're pushing a lot of crazy shit that is not really verified. I mean, it wasn't even CP, right? 24 million people saw MrBeast was reported to FBI, and 200,000 saw that the minor was 18 plus and an adult. Also, lol, Chris Tyson posted it, not MrBeast. Rosanna Pansino has reported MrBeast to the FBI over allegedly leaked group chats between his coworkers. These group chats included racial slurs, inappropriate jokes about minors, and other explicit material. Okay, so yeah, I would say that the FBI is not going to have anything close to a field day. I agree that MrBeast didn't know. What do you think would implicate him? I mean, what would implicate him is if he said the same kind of shit that Ava said, or if we had some kind of message of MrBeast being like, yeah, Ava's weird with minors, I don't care, you know, something like that. Like that would be, I think, clear, you know, clear as day. Obviously, that's a hard thing to get, you know, it's a high bar I'm asking for, but realistically, that is the bar I'm gonna, you know, hold everyone to if I'm supposed to believe that MrBeast knew that Chris was some kind of weirdo, you know? So they're saying, Nick is saying it's not a work chat at all. Where can I find that? Because they did say it was a work chat definitively 4 hours ago on this one. Work chat. I also did see that Rosanna was very mad at Nick, seemingly. Whoa, she sent a lot of messages. Holy shit. Watching grown men say a meme chat is a safe place to post pedo memes with coworkers is wild. I mean, the thing is, like, you can post like a meme. Like, you can post like people post like Epstein or Diddy memes all the time. That is a pedo meme, right? Are we saying we can't like even make jokes about the subject of a file? I mean, Rosanna seems to think you can't even make jokes about Nazis or racism, so I just don't really get it. They're literally talking about work in the work chat. My feet pics are all over WikiFeed. Enjoy. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, these pedo memes shared with MrBeast are fine because reasons. Well, the thing is, like, if it's a meme, I think it's fine. Like, if it's, you know, if there's clear intention behind the meme of like actually being feel like, then that is obviously different, you know? Like, as far as Mr. Beast, like, people make jokes about everything. I make jokes about pedophilia. I think it's a very funny topic because it's dark, much like I make jokes about the Holocaust, 9/11, Hamas, Israel. Like, I think jokes about all this shit is really funny. Like, joking about a dark subject is really funny. The problem is Chris, which Mr. B seemingly didn't know, was also having very inappropriate interactions with actual minors, right? We can merge with Tom to become over Tom. What does that even mean? Did you just draw attention to your own leaked work chats where you guys constantly attack women? What? Attack women? What's wrong with attacking women? What if they're wrong? What if they're dumb? She's talking to Keemstar here. You can make as many sexist jokes as you want, Gooner. Isn't Keemstar 73 years old? Isn't she the same age as Keemstar? Rosanna Pansino. Hey, she's like, what, late 30s? She's 39. Isn't Keemstar the same age? Okay, so they're literally the same age. They could be married. Well, Keemstar probably wouldn't marry her. A little too old for him. Let's see here. Why does she keep talking about Keem? Why is she desperate for Keemstar to... Rosanna commented on her WikiFeed page in a recent video. Put this comment in Nick Diorio's chat yesterday and even tweeted about it last year with a screenshot of the website. My feed pics are all over WikiFeed. Enjoy. WikiFeed loving my new video. She likes the WikiFeed, I guess. I wanted to see your daddy Keem. Can you get Keem on? Rosanna, when she can't substantively defend her arguments, I want to talk to daddy Keem. Oh, drama alert. Okay, Keem said, Rosanna, I have a lovely fiance. Please stop flirting. She says, did Keem give you permission to talk about this? Everyone, let's summon Keem. What? Does she not realize that Nick has like argued with Keem publicly on a lot of different issues? Like, one of Nick's first big videos is him shitting all over Keemstar. Tom thinks he's the drink, but he's not even the cup. Base, dude. Okay, new question. If this chat wasn't a work chat, then why did one of the members of this chat directly tell me otherwise in DMs? This is from Angel Face Peanut. Treyet says, hi, yes, it was a work chat, as evident by what Rosanna sent last night. I can tell you that the people on the MrBeast team were never the brightest and sent messages between chats in and out that either pertain to work or pertain to memes. Memes were sent on other work chats. Work requests were sent in meme chats because Jimmy doesn't think things through. He would send messages to whichever group chat he saw first. Also, he and I were never friends. I was hired to work for him as an employee. So if I was in those chats, what was the point of me being there? Every single person in those chats were MrBeast employees at the time as well. If you were fired or left, suddenly you don't message those chats anymore. Strange how that works. Additionally, via Jimmy's own words, everything he does is work. He straight up said that on Colin Azimir's podcast, so yes, that was work. Okay, so he's saying it was work. Nick said, I mean, yeah, good for Trey Yates. The numerous screenshots we have of the chat just don't align with what he's saying. I understand you guys, Dogpack and Rosanna, are crashing out because people can see your wildly manipulated context, but dude, trust me, bro, isn't saving you. Watching Nick defend pedo memes wasn't on my 2024 bingo card, but here we are. Gooner Gang rise up. But like, it's a meme. Like, to be clear, Rosanna, like, I don't know how familiar you are with the internet, but like, people joke about everything. People joke about the darkest subjects of all time, right? Like, people joke about 9/11, the Holocaust, literally everything. People constantly joke about this shit. So I just don't really see why it's such a big deal to joke about the topic of pedophilia. If the meme includes CP, if the meme includes an underage person, if the meme is, you know, like that, you know, admittedly pretty sus copy pasta thing that Chris was sending around, like that is something to be talked about. But like the intention, I think, still matters in regards to what these memes were. Like, people joke about every subject known to man. One of the things I joke about a lot on my stream, gorilla mode, is right. That is the fucking joke. It's funny. Like, can you not make jokes about it? Don't pedo memes further normalize the topic? I mean, the thing is, like, what do you mean normalize the topic? If you can't even mention or joke about it, I would argue that that's way worse. If you're joking about it with kids and saying, hey kid, hey 9-year-old, here's my pedo meme, that's pretty fucked up. But if you're not, like, what do you mean normalize the topic? You can make jokes about everything. Do jokes about the Holocaust, normalize the Holocaust. Do jokes about Epstein and how much of a file he has, normalign Epstein, make him a cool guy? No, obviously not. That's retarded. Gooner Gang. Gooner Gang? Okay. This is Trey Yates, a disgruntled MrBeast employee. In an interview from early September, Trey swept for Ava because he didn't want to contribute to online transphobia. What?
I don't have any proof right now of, like, not even any stories off the top of my head, because I would have to go back to all those messages, like all those messages from early 2020, and look through and see like any of those things that I saw. I don't want the story to be shifted away from the culture of MrBeast and what Jimmy promotes within the company, how he wants the culture to be, is that a lot of the edgy type of content and a lot of the, edgy cringeworthy humor started with Ava. Like, she sent a bunch of messages that probably shouldn't have been sent in a work group chat, just because she thought it was funny at the time. And it's like, okay, that culture was being promoted within the company, but people are going to use that as more fuel against Ava. And because she's a trans woman, you know, people, especially on Twitter, are going to use that as fear the trans people. And I don't want the narrative to be lost there. I want the narrative to be focused on Jimmy and James Warren.
Isn't Chris Tyson the person we have the most definitive proof for, though? Like, as far as James Warren and Jimmy, like, there's allegations, but especially with MrBeast, you know, there is like clear fuck ups he's had, not in regards to pedophilia. But James Warren, we have no idea what the fuck he did. Like, we have no proof of that. In terms of, like, this whole statement, like, you're more concerned with transphobia than Chris being outed for messaging minors inappropriately? You know what I mean?
And other executives within the company of what they were promoting within the company and not stopping themselves. Seeing other people come out and how they're protected because what they are saying is the truth makes me say, okay, I'm okay coming out now and saying all of this.
All right, so I guess the bigger concern is transphobia than anything Chris did. Great. That's super cool, bro. That's super fire. Well, you know, Chris may have been really weird, but they are trans, so we probably shouldn't talk about it to protect trans people. Keemstar posted a Twitter video, 4 minutes long. Oh my God, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just feel like I need to speak on this. Recently, I've been defending MrBeast because there's been crazy false allegations put out on him by Rosanna and Dogpack. And in return, Dogpack, Rosanna, and their supporters are trying to push some narrative that I'm a bad father. And the reason why I'm a bad father is because Chris Tyson supported the CPR to Shabman, who drew my daughter at age 8 in a sexual matter. And because of that, I should be canceling MrBeast and calling him out. Well, I did. I did. And they're trying to rewrite history. They're literally trying to rewrite history. Here it is right here back in July of this year. Chris Tyson supported the cartoon CP artist Shabman that drew my daughter at age 8 in a sexual manner. This is a known fact. Privately, me and Chris Tyson even had a conversation about this roughly a month ago, and it still upsets me. This is not misinformation. This is a fact. That tweet has 12 million views. And then there's more supporting evidence, right? I'm talking about misinformation about Chris Tyson, how that is false, because at the time there was a lot of misinformation, but this is true. Even more, exposing the Reddit. I called this out publicly, and I got way more views than any of y'all did. And this was at a time where people were defending Chris Tyson. I was the one that got the motherfucker kicked out and off the internet, because not only did I make this public post about it, but I also got in contact with MrBeast and voiced my concerns. And MrBeast got rid of Chris Tyson for it. And I'm very fucking grateful. I have maintained online that the worst thing about MrBeast and all of this, all the exposed stuff that's going on, is his friendship with Chris Tyson and that he knew Chris Tyson was into this creepy sexual stuff. MrBeast clearly knew.
Did he clearly know? I don't know. I'm not super sold on that he clearly knew.
Maybe he wasn't paying attention, and maybe he didn't know every little thing.
Maybe he should have known, but I don't know that he clearly knew.
Of course he didn't know every little thing. But he knew enough to know, hey, this guy probably...
He knew for sure. My thing, though, is just like, if he knew that Chris was like some kind of creep, he wouldn't even keep Chris around because there's too much risk, right? Even having Chris around would just be too much at that point. Like, if I found out that anybody that worked for me has some kind of creepy interactions with any kind of minor, like, I would just be like, you're done. That's it. You know what I mean?
You shouldn't be in my company. And it took me, and it took a private phone call, me complaining, for action to happen. And I get it. It should have happened way faster than that. But
you knew Chris was a gooner? Well, everyone knew Chris was a gooner. I mean, you know, look at him. But did he know that Chris was messaging minors inappropriately? I don't think so.
Even though this happened, I'm not going to let Rosanna and Dogpack and all these other people just make up lies. You know, they came out and said CP was being spread in a MrBeast work chat, and it wasn't a work chat. It was a meme chat created by Chris Tyson.
So he's saying meme chat. Smaggle sent me this just now. Despite Rosanna Pansino, Dogpack, and several articles have reported, the leaked MrBeast work chat filled with inappropriate messages was actually owned by Chris. The introductory message on the date of the Telegram group's creation described it as a not safe for work meme chat, and members of the chat clearly stated it was a non-company meme chat and sent messages that went unreported. I created the chat for not safe for work memes because the other people in the dumpster fire one are normies. And here's like he says, yeah, Chris says, that's work stuff. This is a non-company meme chat. We reached out to Dogpack 6 hours prior to publishing this tweet, and he didn't respond. Bro, why did you guys say it was a work chat if it was started by Chris Tyson? It's a not safe for work meme chat, and people in the chat referenced it wasn't an official work chat. Just wondering if you were misled in some way and give you a chance to course correct before I post that publicly. And I guess Dogpack didn't. Just a minor counter, the chat was entirely MrBeast employees, so it was definitely work adjacent. What I want to know is where you got this info. The files aren't compiled like that, which makes me speculate it came from MrBeast's team. Pure umbrella speculation. The way they emphasize work chat and all the promotional material in their video boils down to, wow, look at this not safe for work stuff. It's tremendously misleading when they chose to admit all messages that explain the chat is literally a not safe for work meme chat and has been since its creation. It's also wildly misleading to call it Jimmy's chat when it's owned by Chris Tyson, no matter how they try to rationalize that. It's not a company chat. If I misframe something like that intentionally, it would be the end of my career. Interesting. I guess the thing is, like, this chat doesn't seem like as much of a bombshell as it was initially presented as, ultimately. It doesn't matter whether he knew Chris was messaging minors inappropriately. Beast knew she had normalized gooner behavior towards underage kids and had direct contact with them through his company. But, like, the thing is, like, Beast didn't definitely know that. Beast knew there was a Discord server, but, like, considering how busy he is and how much time he spends on YouTube, I find it hard to believe he was reading through the entire Discord chat to see what was going on there. And, like, 1,000% knew that something weird was happening. You know what I mean? That's the weirdest thing to me. So yeah, like, we know MrBeast had sent like 3 messages at the very least in that Discord server that was leaked with all this stuff, but like none of the messages were him being like, hey, 15-year-old, what's up? Look at this. You know what I mean? Whereas Chris was like, oh, what am I, their parent? I'm going to send them whatever I want. You know what I mean? Like, this is different. Focusing on whether it was a work chat or meme chat seems like an obvious deflection. I mean, it's still important to make the distinction. I don't think it's a deflection. I think it is important to talk about that, you know?
Pansino's number one thing here, work chats. We've seen this across the entire thing. Work chats. You ready? You ready for the big reveal? Okay, so what if I told you, ready? What if I told you that MrBeast didn't own this group chat? What if I told you it's not a work chat? What if I told you that neither of those things are true? It's not an official work chat where they chat about MrBeast business. What if I told you it's an NSFW meme chat, and it's always been since the day it was created, marketed? You can't miss this. It's the first message in the chat, June 2019. What if I told you this is just an NSFW chat for memes?
Yeah, basically what we saw in the tweet, right? It's hard to accept learning your friend you knew since middle school was actually a predator and ped the whole time. I mean, the thing is, like, on top of that, like, when somebody's weird with minors, they're typically not going to come out and say, hey, I'm weird with minors, right? A lot of the time, they don't even realize what they're doing is wrong. Like, it's extremely rare that you're going to be friends with someone who might be a weird person. They're going to be like, hey, by the way, I'm a weird person. Did you know this? Maybe I should be fired. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty rare that's going to happen. All right. Well, you know, Chris Tyson, definitely a weird person, definitely a creep, definitely a disgusting person. I mean, not really, I don't think there's any doubt behind that. But apart from that, I haven't really seen any new bombshells from this chat, really. So yeah, well, you know, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. MrBeast's response to the public was not great. I will say that. I think if he wants to dispel anything, he's going to need to make a fully public response. And also, frankly, I just want him to make one so that I can make content off of it. I think I'm pretty clear there. You know, I would love to see that. The reason I'm not digging too far in on either side here is because, like, I don't want to go out of my way to defend MrBeast, and especially not to defend Chris Tyson, because Chris Tyson is a disgusting person, is a weird person. MrBeast himself, there's a lot of questions about him that I think are worth talking about. But also with Dogpack, there have been mistakes in his coverage, and with his most recent coverage, it seems like, you know, there kind of was an allegation being pushed publicly that a lot of people took away, which was like, there was CP in a chat that MrBeast owned. We reported to the FBI. They're coming down on him, but like, that didn't really, you know, that didn't really pan out that way, did it? You know, it just didn't. It matters because it puts into question Dogpack and Rose credibilities. Like, if they're willing to manipulate the context here, what else are they willing to sensationalize? Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know, man. I think the first few videos by Dogpack were probably pretty good, but past that, I don't know. It's been kind of hit or miss. Whether it was a work chat or not doesn't seem that relevant to me. It was inappropriate regardless. Well, the point of, like, whether it was a work chat or not is, like, the involvement of MrBeast in this situation, right? Like, because they framed it like MrBeast created the chat, okay? It was a work chat for the MrBeast company. He knew all this was going on in it, when in reality, that wasn't really the case. It was like a meme chat that existed. And I think the particularities are still important. Funny to consider if MrBeast team have been silent, waiting for the critic discourse to fail and implode without any real comment from MrBeast. I mean, that's definitely a strategy, you know? If the people that are criticizing you are prone to false allegations or pushing things too far, a lot of missteps, it's not going to be surprising when, you know, you're just going to wait and wait and wait to see what happens.